Our next step is really what's called a GLP toxicology study, which allows us to do testing to set the human equivalent dose, et cetera, what's safe in patients, what's effective, et cetera. So we plan to do that in fourth quarter.
Hey, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Roger Dumoulin-White. He is the CEO of Theralase Technologies. And Roger, it's good to see you again. How are you?
All right, great to see you, Steve.
Yeah, really interesting news release out again today, talking more about Rutherrin, and we've talked about this in the past, and really this is all related to cancer and the importance of potentially combining Rutherrin with other treatments that are happening. So I'll let you sort of talk us through this and what you're seeing here.
Yeah, what we're seeing with Rutherrin, it has a lot of utility. We can use it on its own. It can be activated with light, can be activated with radiation, can be activated with sound waves. And now we brought out that information. It can be activated with other drugs, such as metformin, a common diabetes drug. But the latest research is what it's showing is that there are existing chemistries and drugs that are available for treating cancer. What we're seeing is that they start off strong, but then they wane over time. So this is known as chemo resistance. So, things like cisplatin, which is what the latest research on, a platinum-based drug, is a very powerful drug. It's one of the most prescribed cancer drugs in the world for chemotherapy. But what happens, it starts off really strong, wanes over time. So patients build a resistance to it. They don't get the effects of it, but they do get the side effects from it. So one of the key research things that Theralase is looking at is how do we improve this? So what we've looked at is by combining a very common chemotherapy drug, cisplatin, with our lead compound, Rutherrin, and what we've shown is a significant expansion or life survival of the animals that were treated. So where this comes into play is obviously if, God forbid somebody has cancer, is you want to, be able to destroy it and not have them build this chemo resistance to it. So by adding Rutherrin into the mix, we feel that we can significantly increase their survival from it. And the interesting part is that we're just combining cisplatin with Rutherrin. We haven't added metformin into the mix. We haven't added radiation into the mix. So we feel that we can even increase that data longer by adding different components. So exciting information.
Yeah, Roger. So is it a fact that you think that potentially Rutherrin could be, in essence, a boost to these drugs that are already being used right now? Or is it the fact that the chemistry combined with the two creates almost a new drug? Or are you looking at both of those?
I think it would be a little bit of a stretch to say that it's a new drug combination because you have a platinum-based drug. You've got Rutherrin, which is a ruthenium-based drug. I think
Yeah.
that they're working synergistically. They could combine in the body. I don't think we would have that information as of yet. But I
Mhm.
think that the regulatory pathway, I think is what you're implying, would be that cisplatin is already approved. So it's already on the market, it's already being used. I think that a lot of the big pharma companies are using combinational drugs. So they come
Mm.
out with a new drug, like the immunotherapy drugs, like Keytruda by Merck and some of the other monoclonal antibodies that are out there. They're combining them. They start off quite strong. They don't get the results that they're looking for over time, and then they start combining them with other drugs. So that's, I think, what this is kind of leaning towards a combinational drug. So you have cisplatin, which is already approved, very strong efficacy, has some side
Mm.
effects, wanes over time. How do we minimize the side effects? How do we increase the survival of the patient or this chemo resistance that we've talked about? And that's adding Rutherrin. So I think that they're combinational therapies. Could they
Okay.
combine in the body? I believe they could. I don't have that information.
So is it the plan to do more testing on this now moving forward, or is it to potentially get to some human models? Like, what's sort of the plan ahead?
I think that we take a page book out of the pharma companies, and what they
Mm.
do is they tend to partner. So they have their drug, they tend to partner with other pharmaceutical companies and say, hey, let's do a combinational study. We have our drug, you have your drug, let's put them together and see if we get a synergistic effect. We would take that same playbook. So we have our drug, we develop it. So our next step is really what's called a GLP toxicology study, which allows us to do testing to set the human equivalent dose, et cetera, what's safe in patients, what's effective, et cetera. So we plan to do that in fourth quarter, subject, of course, to having the funds to cover that. With that information, though, what it would provide us is an ability to inject our drug into human patients in a phase 1 clinical study. From there, it becomes exciting because other pharmaceutical companies, knowing the data that we produced on this preclinical model, would say, well, how about we combine it with our drug and see what happens for this condition? Or we combine it with this other drug and see what happens. So it opens up a whole bunch of partnering opportunities, which I think would be very important for the company.
Absolutely. Roger, thank you so much. Really good update this morning and appreciate your time. Okay.
My pleasure, Steve. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Roger Dumoulin White, he's the CEO of Theralase Technologies.